Right, Matt, I know I'm very unfair to Manchester City and always just say boring whenever we talk about them because they just win every week. But there's a balance here with us football fans where it's okay to be bored by their complete relentless brilliance, but we do have to acknowledge their complete relentless brilliance. And I want to talk to you about Haaland this week because I know he's started seasons in ridiculous fashion before. And I actually saw him score a hat trick for Man City against Nottingham Forest in a 6-0. And that would have been when he first arrived, and something similar to this, where he like just scored hat tricks and twos at the start of every single season. But we are now moving into a sensible conversation, which isn't hyperbole. He's in his third season about whether he is and I'll let you have your say on this, whether he's already becoming one of the greatest strikers of Premier League history, or is he destined to become the greatest striker in Premier League history? Because it almost looks like, unless he gets a big injury or he leaves, he decides I only want to do 3, 4, 5 years in the Premier League, and then I'm going to go to Spain or Italy or whatever. I'm not entirely sure why he would when the Premier League is, so moneyed. Well, maybe there's a reason in November why he might want to leave, but I'm sure we'll get to that on many, many, many shows when that court case is actually happening. But just absolutely insane. I've got the numbers. He's actually already scored 97 goals for Man City in 102 games total, 70 in 69 in the Premier League. So this is the same numbers that Messi and Ronaldo used to do. But I think we would all agree some of those games against the bottom half teams in Spain are regularly, even in the away games, 5-0, 6-0 a lot of the time. And, those two, and this is not me saying those two aren't maybe the two best players that ever existed, but their numbers certainly got padded in a way that Haaland can't at, Manchester City. So that's 231 club goals, and he's 24 years old. And the names that are always going to come up are Shearer obviously has the most goals, but I think we need to be a bit more nuanced, Matt, in the conversation of is it necessarily the bloke with the most goals is the greatest striker? Some people would say it is, fair enough. But the thing with Shearer is he obviously started right at the start of the Premier League era in the 4-4-2 era. And all I would say is I know he was still the best of his generation, but always a strike partner, loads of crosses into the box, loads of his goals, even before Blackburn at Southampton, and just the ball's booted over the top and he chases in behind and scores. And you're kind of like, it's very different. I'm not saying it's easier or harder, but it's very different now. And you almost have to compare with Harry Kane, who's got 213. And I suppose Rooney was even a bit more different because he was such a different type of player, playing down the wing or whatnot. The other argument, before I close, Matt, and you can have your say, is Haaland does play for the best team by a mile, and Shearer won the title, but Newcastle were never the best team with the most money and the best coach. And he is. I don't know whether we'll look at him as just a physical freak of nature outlier who's so big but yet so fast as well. So I think where I am is that he's not there yet, and you can talk about Aguero and Henry as well. And Henry again is very different, going out to the wing and dribbling and things of that nature, and not just being down the middle. By the way, when I saw him score that hat trick against Forest, all the goals were from 6 yards, and it was all poachers' goals and just clever forward play. But I think my conclusion, Matt, is that he is going to become the greatest ever Premier League striker and the top scorer, unless A, injury, B, 115 and Man City get relegated down 3 divisions, which I don't think will happen, but or C, he goes and signs for Real Madrid. What is your take on Erling Haaland and my sort of premise that he will become the greatest Premier League striker ever?
You're right. It's down to how long is he going to stay, and if he does go, would he come back? I mean, it's all that sort of thing. Because I want to draw reference to Harry Kane. If he didn't go to Bayern, I think we all expected him to beat Shearer's record,
Yeah.
and that was, the talking point, because Kane's numbers are incredible. You look at what he's doing at Bayern; he's just carrying on, scoring loads of goals. It's a very good point you mentioned about Messi and Ronaldo, the numbers they used to put up. But I don't know. We're not. This isn't just Premier League snobbery, but this is a very difficult league. It is. We do think it is the best league in the world, because even the teams down the bottom scrap and they give you a hard game, and
And look what
all the
they spend, Matt, compared to the
yeah,
teams at the bottom of the Premier League spend the same as the top teams in
exactly.
Italy and Spain.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I mean, we could just talk about the whole English football pyramid, because even the Championship, which we love to cover, has got money filtering down into it. But yeah, I mean, some of the names we're talking about here, Shearer and Kane, like you said, very good point. They didn't play for teams that were winning the league. Kane played for Spurs, who've come what, third in their best season with him there. Shearer, he did win the league with Blackburn, of course, but even for Newcastle, they weren't really challenging. Whereas Man City, obviously, they're just this monopoly and they just win everything. And look, it's easy because we're all so used to it to just be like, oh, they win everything and they got the best. But Haaland is still an incredible player, and he just fits that system perfectly because, I mean, he's got all the attributes. He could do it on his own, or he could do it in a team. He could do it inside the box. He can do it outside the box, left foot, right foot, header. Um, I love, like you say, his pace, but his height. He's just so well rounded. He's what everyone would want in the Premier League. And Man City, of course, got him. And like you say, the numbers he's putting up doesn't seem to pick up too many injuries. Some top strikers do. I mean, of course, I need to mention he's in my fantasy team as my
You
captain.
did not
And
captain when he scored a hat trick against Ipswich, did you?
I did, I'm afraid,
Matt,
Ben. He's been
I'm going to
he's been
sulk
captain for
now.
all three. Oh, Ben, he's been captain for all three games. It's not an Ipswich
Okay.
thing. And I remember saying to Sophie before the season started, "Are you not going to have Haaland?" And she had Watkins, who's not started the season too great just yet. But you just know now with Haaland. I mean, the numbers he's putting up. If he stays for, I don't know, 4 or 5 more years, I'm sure he will start breaking those records. It's just like you say, he's 24. He's younger than me. I mean, that's just crazy. He's just incredible, the numbers he's putting up, and I just don't see it stopping anytime soon. I mean, what is it? 7 goals in three so far this season. It's ridiculous. So yeah, full of plaudits. I mean, before Haaland, we'd have been saying Aguero, best Manchester City striker of the Premier League generation, and it looks like Haaland's going to zoom past him and, like you say, start chasing down Shearer and Kane for their numbers now.
There you go. Get involved in the comments. It's a good debate, isn't it? It's all a bit of fun. Where is Haaland heading in terms of the list of the greatest Premier League strikers of all time? I think we both think, unless something strange happens, all the way to the top.